Welcome, guys, to my very first walk walkthrough playthrough of Planet Zoo. This will be going up on my YouTube at Soldier CBF. So please subscribe and hit notifications so you can get a notification every time I publish a video online, and that would be amazing. But for now, we are going to play Planet Zoo. I'm going to be playing this until the end of the campaign, and we're going to have some fun with this game. So hopefully you guys enjoy the game, enjoy watching the playthrough, and if you guys think of getting it, I hope that I can help you decide whether you want to get it or not. Alright, so first thing we do, create my avatar.
Heyo.
Oh shit. Alright,
Yeah.
that's about right. Damn. That looks alright. The hair. I got short hair. Well, I'm not blonde though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I do like wearing a beanie, so I'll use that. And glasses. Let's go for a... Ooh, that's nice. Go for a black and a white. Yeah, it's a bit better. Customization ain't the best, but... Oh, well. Just go what we get. Yeah, it looks pretty chill. Yeah, we'll leave it as that. No patterns. Hell no. I already got a hat on. Nah. Oh, I could pick a large guy for myself, but nah, I'll leave it as that. Place my avatar. HQ. Oh, where can I place? Well, since I'm from New Zealand. Yeah, boy. Hey, there's a guy here. Who are you? Hey, one of my mates. Alright. So we go career first. We'll do the tutorial. So here we go. Yeah, we'll do medium. I'm not gonna... So here we go, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Great music, by the way. Very good music. Some really good music. Oh, I'm bringing the screen down a bit. There's some really good music right here.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person.
Nice to meet you too.
Although I insist.
Sup, Bernard?
Call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I
Yeah,
own
that's some beautiful animals.
but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. and prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in.
Damn, that's a
Our old contract
nice zoo right there.
developing a fur allergy.
Tonga Zoo could like
Devil gets
learn a lot
sneaky
from this
and
place.
stretches into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry though, I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But
I hope so.
I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on.
I didn't even have a
Before
diploma.
we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay. Guessing that's the habitat right there. Oh. Grizzly bear. Here we go. Grizzly bear habitat. Locate the grizzly area. Enter the grizzly bear animal camera. There we go. Whoa, I was right on your ass end, eh?
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then
Damn.
again, given the chance, I
That's
think
a
a lot
big
of
one.
people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Yeah, welfare,
Now, this
nutrition.
is a fantastic way to get a close look at
It's
your
all good.
animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
Damn.
Okay,
Who's
when
this
you're
one?
ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Oh, there they are. There we go. I'm just learning the controls here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, there they are. Oh! Sup, Mufasa? How you doing? Oh, oh, oh.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride.
Whoa.
Prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come
Yes,
on,
ma'am.
let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Where the hell are we gonna find an empty habitat? Oh, there we go. Okay, I located the empty habitat. What do I press? No, nothing coming up. Okay. Locate the empty habitats. Okay. I'm here. There we go. Oh, that's a warthog. Alright. Adult. Locate the empty habitat, which I've done. Maybe I need to move my camera out of the way. It looks like the far right, yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to move my camera. There. Alright. Goodwin House, renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. more recently has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed. Which is where you come in. That's me. Alright. I've located the empty habitat. Okay, objectives. Animal market. There's nothing. Okay. Empty market, no items available. What do I do here? Oh, I got visitors, random players. Alright, objectives. Locate the empty habitat, which I have.
As you can see, it's a lovely
you gotta zoom in.
space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Yes, ma'am. Animal market.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu.
Okay.
Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
I'd love to order a dollar.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade center, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are.
Oh,
So
good.
how about you move them
Imagine I
into
moved them and they were like, no, we're going to do this, do that.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Wait, where's the trade center? Oh, yeah. The hell's that guy got? He's running around with my warthog.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station, and for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Put it there. And maybe another one over there. Food through small trough and a water bowl. Put them close together.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Mud bath.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Alright, that's the warthog's done. Oh yeah, it's going up. The enrichment's going up, and hopefully, yep, nutrition. Before I go over to the ostriches, I want to check that the, warthogs are pretty nice. Know what you do? Seems to be alright. Yeah, it's going up. 47, 48. Yep, alright. We'll leave that as is then. Alright, now we've got to find the ostrich. And there it is. Okay. I gotta remember how to use the controls here to get here. Oh, oh, oh! There we go, zoom in. What are we doing here?
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
That's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way.
Okay.
Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier.
Ah.
Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, barrier. Right there? Oh, they want it there.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
No, 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 no. Okay, good. Right. There. 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 And we made an extra one. Okay, good.
Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
You've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
How do you do this? Alright. Bang. Bang. Alright, we'll go over. No, no, no. Oh my god, this is just... Okay. How do I say yes? There. Ah! Ah! I like that. Can I select that? Yeah. How do I say yes? Oh my. Alright. Glass. I just want, yeah, I want to choose that. Now, how do you... This is just not working out for me right now. Excuse me. Pardon me. God damn. Alright, I want that one. Move over, and we'll get that corner. Alright, right there. So how do we say yes? Replace the section with glass. I'm trying to. Yeah. No, I don't want to move it. Alright, let me just replace one section. Alright, expand it a little bit. No. No! Ah. This is just not glass, there we go. With windows. One-way glass? No, glass. This is not working out the way I would like, because how do I... There we go, done. Right, we've got the animal marker here. We're not worried about the animal marker here. Replace the section with glass. I've done that. Ah. Oh my god, this is... It's not working out the way I want. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh? By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. Alright, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Yes, ma'am. It's a very chatterbox. Alright. There's a nice ostrich here. Alright, all of them get sent to the zoo.
To be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
I'm good. Slow feeder. I don't know. That's not a favorite. Alright. Can't move it. Okay. Boom.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can
Damn
really
it.
stretch their legs.
I only got bronze.
Did
We'll
you
get it.
know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Alright. Oh, that was the bronze thing. Well, stop favoriting
You'll
him.
need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Oh, yeah. Is it shift? Hold down Z, okay. Oh, did they just want the small one there? Oh, there we go. Ah, yep.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we? Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then.
Alright,
Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch.
Whoa, okay.
And concrete and glass, I expect. So, go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
Yes, ma'am. Alright. Alright, we'll do the habitat gate, which will probably be, what, there? Hold on. Oh, why don't I just do that?
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
Oh yeah.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters.
Oh.
Now the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch.
Alright, donation box on the way. Oh, hello. Oh, they want to hear, eh?
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate's in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
I haven't even built the bloody glass barrier. Where the... I'm not even worried about it right now. Alright, let's get this horse. Let's get these tigers. Rahanu. And we'll send you right there. 8 years old, eh?
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
I'll put that in the corner.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool. Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat? Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat, so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
There we go. And then back to berries.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel.
Hey, no, not cinematic.
Rightio. Click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
More long grass.
Terrain editing tool.
And way more soil.
And give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
Okay. That's alright. Terrain. Painting. Or do we do heavy soil? Let's go heavy. Alright. Oh. Soil, they're happy with the soil! Alright, grass long. How am I doing this? Oh, too much grass. Alright, grass short. Alright, perfect grass short. Not too much grass long.
Right then.
There we go.
Animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get
Open
a
the
perfect fit,
environment
use plants
tab.
from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want. You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
Temperate. Temperate biome. Continent is Asia. There we go. Right there. Bengal bamboo. There we go! We did it!
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave. Even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right, let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Eye of the tiger. Alright, down here. Okay, we need to go locate the highlighted area.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese.
Social
Find their
group.
social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong.
It's the social group. Adopt 3. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's up here. No, which one is it? That one.
Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then.
And we'll put you there. Put you there. Send to zoo and we'll put
Good
you
work
over
on
there.
those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Alright, there you are.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you?
Hell yeah,
This
they
will
are.
give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests. Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather, you should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
The hell is going on? Hold on. Oh, do I need to pause first? I didn't put the one way. Yeah. This. This is not going the way I hoped. Alright. I am so bad at this game. Alright, we got that. Yes, that's the way we want, right? Alright, we're gonna skip that because look, he's got his privacy. Alright. Open the temperature view mod. Turn on the temperature
As
heat
you
map.
can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Okay. Habitat.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Oh, I better turn the heat map off for this. What type of rock? Hmm. The hell? Okay. How did it disappear? Alright, maybe that'll work now. I had it on pause.
Well then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Hold on. We got a giraffe, right? Yeah, giraffe. Reticulated giraffe.
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So, if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button.
Oh yeah, reticulated giraffe.
I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Species, okay. Reticulated giraffe. About time she shut up. Where are you, giraffe? There you go. We're gonna get your enrichment up, bro. Rubbing pillar. We'll put that one there. Yes, you're good. Ooh, habitat. For a zebra. Okay, habitat for a zebra. Or zebra, whatever you call it. Okay, enrichment items for zebra. I'm guessing zebra is on the bottom. No, of course it's not. It's not just zebra, is it? Plain zebra. I'm guessing that's what it is. Plants. It needs more plants in habitat. Species food. Oh yeah, but it's like. Oh, I think they went in the water. Oops. Needs more species food. Obviously close to the viewers, so they love it. Yes. Alright, now we need to do plants. Terrain. Okay, what's terrain set up? Terrain. The grass short, needs more short grass. Okay, here we go. Let's move it around for you. Close to the area. Yeah, put it close to the water so it looks more like the water is providing for you guys. You know? Because that's what the water does, you know? Water. Oh man, I'm giving them a lot. There we go. And grass long. You know, put a lot in the trees and stuff. I'm pretty sure the giraffes are loving this too, so I hope so. Soil. Ugh. God. Just need everything, don't we? Do we go heavy soil? I feel like I'm giving this too much heavy soil right now. Oh, they're all loving the grass. Damn it! Let me just sort out its soil first. Right, let me get back to grass long. Grass short. Oh my god, I've taken away grass long again. Says it needs more soil, but I don't get it. I'm trying to get some long grass going right now. Just enough, alright. Alright, one's heavy. Let's go a bit more intense. I'll fix the grass short. Alright, that's all I can do for that. I'm sorry, Zebra. How's your plants? Okay, here we go. Okay, plants, environment. What is Asian trees doing here?
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think
Hey!
you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
We did it, guys.
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. And maybe having a type of frog named after me.
No. Alright, so not from the desert. Grassland, here we go. Alright, so far we've got everything going good. The zoo's running a bit smooth. I'll think that'll do it for part 1. The pretty much tutorial walkthrough, get all that stuff gold. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please like and subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can get notified. I'm gonna try and do every day. I make no promises. We'll see how we go. But thank you for watching part 1, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much. Peace.